So what is going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another Zombies Q&A on the channel, where we take your questions from the comment section below to do with the zombie storyline, Easter eggs, and answer them. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to drop a like rating, only if you want to. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. As you may or not be able to tell, I don't know how this is going to come out in the editing, but I am extremely sick. I do want to apologise for not making many videos over the past week or two. I've been really sick. It's difficult to talk. My throat is all clogged up. I usually make a video every day or two, and over this past week plus, it's probably been the longest distance I've had without making videos, which is killing me. I absolutely hate not making videos, and I really should get some rest, but I have to try my best to make them for you guys, so here it is. I'm not too sure how long it's going to be, but hopefully I should be back to the normal schedule next week, fingers crossed. But as always, if there's any questions that you have about zombies, leave them down below, but let's get into it. Here we go. So the first question of today, a more personal one from Matt G, says, how do you feel about the new perk system? I've said since this was announced or revealed, personally for me it takes away the feel of zombies. The perks have been in the game since the beginning. They were first introduced to us, I believe, in Verrucht. We've had that same style since then, and then all of a sudden in Black Ops 4 to take out something that makes zombies. If you show anyone, you know, Juggernog, Quick Revive, if you mention those names to people that don't even play zombies, people know what these things are from, and then all of a sudden just to take them out, take out a massive part of what makes zombies so great, for me it's a weird decision. I can't quite understand it, and I don't know, I just feel like Black Ops 4 made too many changes. As you know, I'm never one to complain. I don't make rant videos or anything like that, but personally one of my biggest things that I don't like about Black Ops 4 Zombies are the perks. I don't find myself using perks anymore in BO4, whereas before you'd always go to get your Quick Revive or Juggernog, and then you'd build up to Speed Cola or Double Tap Widow's Wine, whatever you want. Now on Black Ops 4, because there's no Quick Revive, there's no Juggernog, I find myself not buying perks at all. And actually, for the many times that I've played BO4 Zombies, I've only brought perks a handful of times. I don't know, I just don't find them as useful. They're not as appealing. Half of the time I forget about them. There's no Speed Cola anymore, even though you can get it by buying all of the perks. It just doesn't seem worth it. I don't know, it just feels like a massive hole's missing in the game. I can understand it for the new storyline, it would make sense, but to get rid of them for the Ether story, that doesn't make sense to me. Right now, in terms of storyline, they haven't explained why they've done it. We've got this system in both Classified and Blood of the Dead. Whether they're going to explain it and, you know, add it to the story later on down the line, I would think so. But as of right now, it doesn't make sense in that terms. And in terms of gameplay, I just don't like it. And also the HUD as well, how they appear in the middle of the screen. Back in October when I saw gameplay of this for the first time, I hated it. I don't like the HUD. I think it's too clogged. The perks in the center just takes away from the immersion. I'm getting a little bit off track here, but yeah, I don't like the new perk system. I know one of the reasons they may have done it, as they've said before, people usually just go for these same old perks over and over again, so they wanted to add the ability for us to customize things more, but most of the perks just feel rubbish anyway, and in my opinion the old system was fine. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. The next question of today says, can you explain all of Nikolai's wives? So Nikolai is famously known in the zombie storyline for not only being a drunk, but having many wives and killing them. If we take a look at Nikolai's original biography back from World at War, it says, Stalin himself cannot stare Nikolai in the eye. No one can. There, in his eyes, you will see the soul of a man burning with the hatred of all things living. His closet is filled with skeletons, many of them with the flesh still attached. Early in his career, Nikolai had quickly made his way up through the ranks by killing the next man in line and by marrying politically. Ultimately, his aspirations all came crashing down after his fifth wife mysteriously died while cleaning his axe with her neck. Little did he know that she'd been sleeping with a high-ranking party official on the side. This made Nikolai infamous, and his reputation spread quickly through the party. It was not long before Stalin himself had heard about Nikolai. More importantly, he feared Nikolai. As soon as the war started, our hero was dropped on the front lines and forgotten about, where he wallowed in self-pity and vodka for several years. So we discovered in this bio, as I quote, Nikolai's aspirations all came crashing down after his 5th wife mysteriously died while cleaning his axe with her neck. So clearly Nikolai killed his 5th wife. Now as for his 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th wife, well, he killed his 1st one with a shotgun. He says that as a quote in one of the maps. I can't specifically remember which map it was. The 2nd wife he killed, again with a gun. The 3rd wife, as you would imagine, he killed. And his 4th wife, she ran off with Nikolai's money. He then tracked her down and, as you would expect, killed her. However, in maps like Moon, Nikolai actually talks about a 6th and 7th wife. So even though this biography doesn't mention it, Nikolai apparently, as he says, had 7 wives. Now there are also people that say he actually had 9. Nikolai did have a girlfriend at the same time as having his 7th wife, but as for his 9th, I can't seem to find any quotes about it. Personally, I can't recall anything of this, but if you guys know or there is any evidence, let me know down below. But if they were to exist, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't know. Like his others, he probably killed them. So that is the story of Nikolai's wives. But actually, is any of that even true? Did any of Nikolai's wives even exist in the first place? Well, if we actually go over to the Gorod Korovi ending, when Primus Nikolai is talking to his Ultimus self, he says this.
But know this, in my heart, I share the same pain as you. The pain that you have buried and blurred beneath an alcohol-fueled haze. Yes, the pain of your own memory. You loved and you lost. Everything else has been delusional fantasy that distance you from painful truth. You know what I speak of. You remember. Before the bombs fell. Before she was taken from us. Some things are forgotten. For a reason!
Primus Nikolai says to Ultimus Nikolai, the pain that you have buried and blurred beneath an alcohol-fused haze? Yes, the pain of your own memory. You loved and you lost. Everything else has been a delusional fantasy that distances you from the painful truth. You know what I speak of. You remember before the bombs fell, before she was taken from us. And then of course Ultimus Nikolai says to him things are forgotten for a reason, and Primus Nikolai kills him. And then also if we take a look at the Canorium, one part says Nikolai Blensky's wife was killed during the German advance into the Soviet Union. In an effort to numb the pain, Nikolai increasingly turns to vodka. So this explains why Nikolai first began to drink. It seems he was married, he had a nice, normal life, and then when the Germans advanced into the Soviet Union, as he said in the ending, Nikolai's wife was killed by a German bomb. Obviously this broke him, it hurt him, and so in an effort to numb the pain and forget about it, to blur it out, Nikolai turned to vodka. And when he was drunk, he became so crazy that he began to imagine things that weren't real. He created a fantasy in his head and imagined wives that he never had. And it was that out of it, he commented on them as if they were real, to hide the pain buried beneath his true self. So it seems like, actually, none of Nikolai's wives ever existed. He only ever had one, who was killed by the Germans. And so, in an effort to forget this, he turned to vodka, which put him in a delusional state where he went into a fantasy imagining he had many wives that he also killed in an effort just to forget the one he had. I believe that's the case. I mean, is there the tiny possibility that those 9 wives did exist? After his first wife was killed by the Germans, he did turn to drink and married the other 9 or 8 just to try and get over his first one, but ended up killing them all. Because if his wives didn't exist, then Nikolai's bio in World at War doesn't quite make sense, because it mentions him killing his wives, which leads to Stalin being scared of him. So either these were just made up stories that got around the Soviet Union, maybe Nikolai told people these stories, he just made them up and people believed them, or he did actually marry these women, he killed them, people took notice, and so on. Personally, I believe they were just fantasies in his head. These wives never existed, but it's definitely interesting. You have to kind of feel bad for him. Raymond Bryson says, BOA, can you do an updated zombie storyline? People always ask me if I could do a full timeline of zombies, do a complete entire zombie storyline video. I did do like a 5-minute one, probably, I don't know, at the end of BO3 or partway through it. But I will do a complete entire, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 hour long zombie storyline video when Black Ops 4 is over. When we've had all of the information with DLC 4 and if we get Zombies Chronicles as well, or whatever extra content we're having, when Black Ops 4 Zombies is completely finished and we have everything, then I will do a full zombie storyline. I don't want to do one now because we're halfway through, but I will try and do one once everything is over. So anyway guys, that is it. That is all I have for you for today's video. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, you know what to do. Drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Like I said, this is probably going to make my voice 10 times worse after doing this video, so hopefully I'll be better soon so I can get back to the usual schedule. But thank you all for watching anyway, and of course I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, goodbye.